Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? This is Enrique of Spanish United. Today we have a very guest on the show. Would you be kind of introduce yourself to the audience?
Hello, everyone. My name is Tim Hepburn. I am the current mayor of Verne, California.
And thank you for being on the show, Tim. I truly appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Awesome, awesome. As we had spoken before, I wanted to ask a few questions about the Hispanic community of Laverne, and could you give like a breakdown of what the city of Laverne is about for the audience?
We're a kind of a multifaceted community. We have roughly like 47% white, 37% Hispanic population, 11% Asian, 3% African American. So we're a blended community. We a very nice community, all accepting, many churches, many businesses run by multiple, ethnicities, and very good community.
Hmm. I've been to Laverne many times. I've been to Laverne University, which I think is a very awesome university. And what I like about Laverne is that it's a very comfy place from what I see. It's like nested in between Glendora and San Dimas, and it has like a home feel. That's one thing I like about Laverne. One of the questions I wanted to ask you as mayor, how represented is the Hispanic community in Laverne?
As far as on the council, as far as the elected, you mean?
Yes.
Actually, at this point right now, we actually for many years had a very active Hispanic population. And as far as on the council, we had um, Robert Rodriguez, who has passed since. We had a number of previous council members. Charlie Rosales, ex-police officer, was just he decided not to run in the last election cycle in 2020, and then we had I can't I would say 3 white, 1 Asian population, and then actually 4 white and 1 Asian population. But we do represent our community, though, as far as all of our community and the residents concerned. So not an issue there.
That's good. And what about in terms of business and in commerce? Would you say Hispanics are well represented?
Yes, I think so. We have a number of, let's see, right now we have 1, 2, 3. I know 3 Mexican restaurants, and I know we have some salons, and I know we have some of our other businesses that are Hispanic run. So we have a nice blend of different community members that own businesses in Laverne from the Hispanic.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, the reason why I asked because Hispanics are the largest minority in the United States, but for some reason Hispanics tend to be invisible when it comes to like commerce, when it comes to politics, and even to entertainment. So what do you think that is?
Um, that's a very good question, but I think as far as Laverne, we're well represented, especially with the university. You brought up a very good point. Our university is a base system with scholarships and all-inclusive university, which across all the spectrums of population. Um, and I really can't answer that question because most of the people I know, the insurance agency, I forgot to mention that. I mean, across the board in our community, it seems very open for anyone to run a business. But I would imagine too, it would be, if there was any issue, it would be obviously the financial aspect of it.
Hmm.
And I think that's probably the biggest, like any business. I run a small electrical contracting business, and that's one of the biggest issue is the financial support and the backing. But
Yeah, I agree
um,
with you. I agree with you.
yeah,
And that's one
yeah.
thing that
What?
that yeah, that's one thing that I encourage with my organization Spanish United is to encourage Hispanics to get into business or to get into education. Not just be a worker, but to go into business for themselves. Because I think the more Hispanics that are business owners and the more Hispanics that are educated with degrees, the cycle of poverty will break. At the same time, they will have better resources for their children. Because like you said, one of the reasons why a lot of people do struggle, and that involves everyone, has to do with finances. So I think education is very, very important, in order to get the skills that they need to better themselves.
Yeah, I know that our university is really focused, and they have a large Hispanic population. And as far as students, and I mean, we're talking lawyers, teachers, we're talking MBAs, we're talking a lot of different programs that are unbelievable for all of our area. So our university is well set to do that and to assist people to elevate themselves, to give them the power that they have with education and to move forward and, contribute more and more to society.
And I have a question: is the University of Laverne, is that a private university or is it public?
Private.
Okay. Yeah, because like I passed by Laverne University many times, and I heard it's a wonderful school in that area, but I wasn't sure if it was private or it was public.
It's private, but it's got an amazing curriculum, 4 different campuses on the campus itself, but their scholarship level is off the charts.
Right. Yeah, I actually seeing very good reviews. Another thing I was gonna ask, in terms of, for example, what I do, I'm hoping to possibly partner with the city of Laverne, or do like some type of co-sponsorship where I could open a Spanish United Community Center in the area, because I feel that it will help a lot of the Hispanic youth that's in the area to keep themselves busy, and also at the same time to get them connected with their culture, and also to bring other people that are not familiar with Hispanic culture to get them to be exposed. So I wanted to ask, how can I come come about that?
That would be a discussion with the city manager and the community development department and see what is available there. And also to look at the programs we already have through our community services department and how we have a lot of outreach to our community. So I think that would be the first start,
Okay, but do you know if there's a cultural center per se, or community center per se, or just programs?
We have a community center, yes, right next to City Hall. It's very well used, and there are many classes I would have to look at. There's so many departments in the city. I try to keep on top of most, but it's I think that we're well versed on that. But that would be a conversation probably with our community services manager. She
Okay.
she would be the one to discuss that and see what we have and to implement and add to that. I'm very receptive on that, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah, because I think it's very important if if Hispanics get more involved, like with the community, or they get more, and the children, the kids get more involved in getting into activities, like for example into sports or recreation, or just having help with their homework. I think that will tremendously help in drastically reducing juvenile delinquency and joining gangs. 'Cause I think that's very important.
Yeah, we have a very good school system, and the Benita Unified between San Dimas and Laverne. And it's very well run, very proud of it, and many classes of everyone is in our community, and it's really a great system, very good system.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I agree with you.
yeah, we've
Yeah, all of that area of Glendora, Laverne, Claremont, and San Dimas, the school systems are very excellent.
and Pomona too. Pomona's got a very large school system, but a very diverse population, especially Pomona too. And
Mhm.
there's we're involved with our homeless situation with Claremont, Pomona, and Laverne uh, through the Regional Valley Housing Trust, which people can get vouchers. Pomona has housing, Hope for Home, and Claremont has other systems that we utilize together with Tri-Valley Mental Health. So, which services all of our community and all of our residents and people that do come into our communities that are in need.
That's good, because right now in the city of Los Angeles, homelessness is really out of control. Like in my city in Glendale, you don't really see it, but when you go like crossing over in across the bridge or going into Atwater and Los Feliz, you tend to see it more. And one thing that I do with my organization is that we bring out food and water and supplies, and when we're able to, we try to set up people like with temporary housing, like getting them like a hotel, like for a motel, like for a night or like a night or two. But I hear so many stories of so many people, particularly like a lot of Hispanics, that some are immigrants and some are not, that because of the language barrier, a lot of them are not able to reach many sources. And Spanish United is probably one of the few organizations that actually goes to the people directly, because we work on a one-on-one basis with people. So it's like, when we go out into the field, we do like an intake, kind of like an ombudsman, and we listen to their needs, listen to what they exactly need, and if we're able to provide, we provide for them. But it is a very big job. So we are open to getting donations, but it's basically a volunteer basis.
Well, the homeless situation, I know I spent the night. I'm the first vice president on the San Gabriel Valley Council of Governments, which is very much into the homeless Measure H funds. And Baldwin Park just actually opened up, I think it was on the 22nd of November, opened up a small tiny home village. So, and for residents, it's an interim short term, but I think it's 3 months is the maximum stay, but then they renew that. But laundry facilities, little tiny homes, that they can stay in, a secure facility. The biggest problem with the homeless situation is the mental illness and the drug abuse.
Mhm.
Until we get that under control, where we have advocates for the mentally ill and get them into sustainable facility where they can be taken care of when they're not on the streets. And the same thing for the issue with the drug abusers and the addicts, that they need to get into some kind of sustainable drug rehabilitation center. And that's the focus that we need to do. You can throw money at it all you want, but unless you solve the issue and people to where you have an advocate for them that can take them and put them under their wing and get them under a facility that can handle them, that can get them better, to help them, and then the other people that just have a bad run of luck and families, we need to get them off the streets and into a sustainable system where they can flourish and get back into society and be contributors. And it's a tough one, but Los Angeles County is in pretty bad shape.
I agree with you, and that's one thing that people don't realize, that people become homeless for different reasons. And again, I've spoken
Yes.
with many people, and a lot of people that end up homeless, I would say primarily, aside from mental illness and drug abuse, has to do with rent control. As we don't have rent control, particularly in the city, and a lot of people end up displaced because the landlord decides to raise up the rent to whatever, people can't afford it, and they end up displaced. And it's very hard for people to
Well,
to leave.
it's just a combination of everything behind COVID and people losing their jobs. And I mean, even with the pay that they were receiving, it's still not enough. And there's just situations that occur that people need assistance, because I think most people, as a general rule, ruling out the drug situation and the mentally ill population, they just want to live and live in a safe environment, and I think that just something we have to address. Like I say, you can throw money at it all you want, but unless you solve the core problem, it'll continue to be a problem, especially with people living on the streets in conditions that are horrific.
Oh
Just
yeah.
horrific.
Yes, and I believe that there needs to be advocacy 100%. And again, unless people are
Yeah.
are educated, and not all people that are homeless or mentally ill is their fault, it's not
No,
going to change. Like you said, people need to, have compassion and not have the stigma, and there needs to be an advocacy. I definitely do agree with you 100%.
yeah. Behind every person, there's a story. And
Oh,
it's a long,
yes.
and it's just for the unfortunate that got into a bad situation during 2020 and 2022, and what is coming. Hopefully, we can address those with the proper way to address the mentally ill and the drug abuse situation. Also with the veterans, that's too, and little families and single parents. They need to be off the streets. They need to be
Yes.
in a secure location, safe with meals and education and everything else. So very
I agree
important.
with you. I agree with you. I think that's very vital because, like I said, if it doesn't get under control, it might cause social instability in the later decades.
I would agree 100%. Yeah, yeah, agreed.
And one final note is, how do you think Laverne can improve in terms of, for example, making it, easier for people to get access, like to, for example, services, or let's say assistance for different things. How can the city improve in that aspect?
Well, being the with the Tri-City Mental Health, and then with the cities of Pomona and Claremont and ourselves, our police department is well trained. We have a Tri-City Mental Health individual that stays at our city. We have navigators that go out if there's an issue and a resident calls and sees a disheveled homeless person or a situation there. We have services, immediate services. And the problem with that is they're willing to take them. And that's the issue with the mentally ill and the drug situation, but people are willing to take it. We have services for that. And we implemented that many years ago when Measure H funds first came, to make sure that trying to take those people that want to be taken care of and to protect the people that don't, but yet to watch them closely.
Right.
But we have services at our hands at any time to help any individual that comes into our community that's in need.
Mhm.
And our people are so well trained, and the people of Pomona and the people of Claremont, we work so much hand in hand, and also Sister City Glendora too. They've got systems in place. So we're well versed on that, and we do a very good job at it. I compliment all of our city staff, also Tri-City. So we do have a big heart in Laverne. So
Yes, I do agree with you. Yeah, thank you very much for your time, Tim. I truly appreciate it. I finally got to get a hold of you, but I really appreciate your time coming on Spanish United.
anytime you wish to talk again, please get a hold of me. But happy holidays and safe holidays to you and all your proteges and family.
Thank you. Likewise. Have yourself a wonderful evening.
Thank you. You too. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.